like by angel. We're healing God rhythm, and every mind finds freedom.
Let's talk, let's feel, let's grow. Black by angel, truth in the sound. Black by angel, hearts come around. Black by angel, lift off the ground. Black by angel, where peace is found. Black by
on Black by Angel.
So being an introvert, it does not mean that you don't have friends. It does not mean that you can't hold your own at a social gathering. Will it be a little more uncomfortable? Possibly. Friends, I'm so glad y'all are here. I'm going to get into something a little bit heavy with y'all today. So please grab your popcorn, grab your blankets, grab your notepads, and maybe a box of tissues. So I'm going to explain to you why you should probably cuss out your grandma. So stay tuned and I'll be right back.
Black by angel.
Oh, hey everybody. This is Angel Watkins and I'm Black by Angel. Make sure you keep watching.
Black by angel.
Okay, so I told you should go cuss out your grandma, right? Maybe don't do that. I don't know anybody's grandma this side of heaven that won't cause a shoe to curve a corner and bust you in the back of your head because you want to be disrespectful. And don't tell her because I told you to go do it. So I told you to cuss out your grandma because we need to start having some serious conversations with our elders because we tend to take things for granted, like being older as a reason to no longer learn lessons or correct our behavior. But let's stop doing that. That's very dangerous to us in the long run. So if you are someone that is in your 30s or 40s and your parents are probably in their 60s, your grandparents, if you still have them, are much older than that, at least by probably 20 years or so. If you have those grandparents that, only have 12-year age gaps, clearly there's a difference there, but I want you to follow me. So there is something called epigenetics, okay? It is literally the study of how our genes are expressed differently, given certain stressors, environmental factors, chemical exposures. So certain things cause us to possibly have genes turned on or genes turned off. A good bit of our family, not too far removed generationally from us, have been slaves, have been somehow trafficked or in that world, exposed to such grave harms and dangers that some of those things have kind of traveled down the line to us in our genes. No, they did not happen directly to us. We were not born when they were happening, possibly. And if you were and your parents or grandparents were still in that world, I'm very sorry. But someone my age, my parents were not involved in that world, but my great grandparents were. They were slaves and their parents were. So they love to do this thing like, oh, I'm set in my ways. I don't want to change. I don't want to hear nothing about that. I don't have nothing to do with that. No, I don't condone that. That's not the way I was raised. That's not the way I was brought up, as an excuse to be disrespectful, racist, ableist. Like, we got to correct some of those behaviors. We can't keep passing the buck and not having conversations with our elders just because they're older, just to be like, okay, you know what? I don't really want to have it out with grandma today. So let me keep it cool. I'm going to just keep my mouth shut. That's not healthy for us, nor is it healthy for them. It ends up being very stressful to you in the long run. You become very distant from your family because the rest of your family also probably, even if they don't condone it, they don't correct it. And to me, I see it as the same thing. Either you're a part of the problem or you're a part of the solution. Sometimes it is that black and white. And even if we don't outright withdraw, there is some part of us that also will come around and be a bit cringe with the family because you're disrespectful and it's not changing and no one's saying anything to them to change it. Nobody wants to get into the arguments. Nobody wants to get into the heated debates. But ultimately, what if you stepped out of your comfort zone and you had that conversation? What if you stepped out of yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to confront the issue and maybe let's have a family conversation about this. Why it's harmful, why it's not harmful to have these conversations. The same way your grandparents passed down generations of cooking recipes and home care remedies, the onion in the sock, the heal the cold, get the cold out your chest, sleep with it. Like we all have those cultural things that have been passed down. Maybe we need to pass up some of the knowledge that we're learning to our older generation so that they can know how to operate in this world, so that they can know that what they're doing is no longer okay. The way that they were raised, while we understand, sure, it was the social norm at that time, but that does not make it okay. It does not make it excusable. And because we're no longer in that time, they have to make some changes. And we're here to help them with those changes, right? So if I go to my grandmother and I say, okay, grandma, I'm going to college. And she's going to look at me and be like, why? Okay. So if you have grandparents like me, higher education wasn't always possible. It was not a part of their everyday world. It was not something that was within reach, and they got by without it. Again, that doesn't make it okay, and it does not make it excusable. Okay. So I would explain to my grandmother why it is now necessary that I go get a higher education. We know now with higher education, better job opportunities come about, better pay for those job opportunities come about, the ability to move up and to possibly be the big boss. What if you want to open your own business? There are some things that further education are necessary for. It just might be a necessary evil, right? So let's talk about that when I come right back. Okay, so we talked about the necessary evil, right? What is the necessary evil? Why is the evil actually necessary? It is necessary to have these conversations because not talking about it is harmful to us psychologically. It can be harmful to us physically as well because our mental state sometimes can be expressed somatically. So we can have back pain, we can have neck pain, we can have certain urges like shooting up through our sides because there is a lot of stuff that we have that is repressed, stuff that is pushed down, pressed together, and running over. That's what we used to say in church, but seriously, that's how it feels to hold on to those things and not to have those conversations. And when you get around your family, that's exactly how you're going to feel. Shook up and pressed down and running over. So to mitigate feeling like that, first and foremost, the number one thing I always tell you to do, get you a therapist. Seek a mental professional that can help you to navigate this with your family, because no, it probably won't go so great if you just bust out with grandma, you did wrong and you need to shut up. Yeah, probably not going to end well for you, but I pray for you anyhow. So I want you to talk to your therapist about how you can navigate these conversations, whether it be with your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, aunts, uncles. I don't care who it's with. It could be with a friend's parents. So just talk to your therapist about how you can have those discussions, right? What are these discussions? All of a sudden, I'm feeling like I have anxiety when I'm in certain atmospheres and I don't really know why. Okay? I'm in a room with a certain type of people. I am on the road with a certain amount of people. I am in certain vicinities of people or places or things, and it's causing me extreme discomfort, and I don't know why. It could possibly be because something that happened so far from you, so long down the line, but it is being expressed in your genes. Sometimes that's what anxiety is. Sometimes that's where your depression comes from. You might not know how to explain it, but it may be something that you personally did not go through, but your generations of ancestors did. So those are ways that you can attack those conversations. Okay, maybe grandma, tell me a little bit about what it was like when you were growing up. Or great granddad, can you tell me what it was like to get a job back in your time? Or like some of the different stressors that you guys had to deal with, to grow up. Were you allowed to go to school? Were you forced to get a job at 11? Like, what was your life like? We take the ability to have those conversations for granted, and they are very necessary so that we can, one, come to conversations with love and still hold one another accountable, but also be empathetic for one another's positions, right? So just passing things down like, oh, you're old, you're so stuck in your ways, that's no longer an excuse. Everybody that is an adult is now responsible for their actions. We can't blame everything on the past. We can't blame everything on how our parents raised us. If you knew better, you do better. So this is now the time for you to go ahead and explore those avenues. Like, look into those histories that might be a little bit uncomfortable, but you might find a safe space in finding out where you come from and the type of people you belong to. Black people are proud people. Me and my sister were just talking about this. We are prideful, and there's a reason why. Look into it. I urge you to get into your history to find out where you come from. Ask the questions. While your answers may be uncomfortable, they may also be liberating. I love y'all, but God loves y'all more. Get you some mental help. I see y'all later. Hi. It can also be this.
It's black by angel.
Exactly. Societal. Yep.
And every mind finds freedom.
Let's talk, let's feel, let's grow.
No.
Black by angel, truth in the sound. Black by angel, hearts come around. Black by angel, lift up the ground. Black by angel, where peace is found. Black by angel, truth in the sound. Black by angel, hearts come around.
So it's like the DSM-5 is like, okay, at some, and not even the DSM.
But every stone gotta come at the end. Yeah, love ain't perfect, it bends, it bleeds. But black by angel plants the seed. Talk your truth, let your mind unwind. We heal in the open, not left behind. Ain't no shame in the tears you cry.
Black by angel, we reach that sky. Black by angel, truth in the sound. Black by angel, hearts come around. Black by angel, lift up the ground. Black by angel, where peace is found. Black by angel, truth in the sound. Black by angel, hearts come around. Black by angel, lift up the ground. Black by angel, where peace is found.
From heartbreak zones to mental wars, we build again, we open doors. Voices matter, your pain's a prayer.